Hello everyone and welcome to Java tutorial. In this tutorial, I'm going to be explaining about looping statements in Java. So what are looping statements in Java? In real life, if you say, if your teacher asks you to write any series of any numbers or any series in particular, example you were given an imposition to write like some punishment n number of times, like 100 times you should write something. Java makes this easy. In the real life, you would write each statement again and again, but in Java, this does not be required. Even if you wanted to print some series of numbers in Java, the most basic approach for beginner programmers would be like printing each number one by one with separate statements. But that would become too much lengthy for any programmer. So that is why we have the looping statements in Java. So what are looping statements actually? Looping statements, it's like a block of code in which you write a statement. It gets executed n number of times based on the condition that you give it. So that is basically the definition of looping statements. So let's get to its syntax first. That will help you understand it. So there are three types of looping statements first of all in Java. That is for loops, then the while loops, then the do while loops. So the three of them may look similar when writing code, but they're actually a bit different. Not much different, but a bit different, and they each have different purposes. So the most used one is the for loops because it gives more flexibility in the looping statement. Okay, so let's start with the for loop first, and then we'll go to the while and do while. So for the for loop, the syntax is simple. As it's a function for, has a parenthesis and expects parameters, right? And these parameters are separated by semicolons. Like in English, you separate parts of sentence by commas. For the for loop parameters, you should separate them by semicolons. And the for loop takes in a maximum of 3 parameters. Okay, and then the curly braces to open and close, and whatever code you want to write or whatever statements you want to write goes inside this. And the logic of loops is simple, but when using them it may be powerful. So the simple logic here is it accepts a base value. Most people use as a variable called I, int I, okay? Int I. And I is the value or the base value which helps in counting how many times you want the loop to be executed. Then you have a condition actually. A condition till when the loop will be executed. Example, I want to print numbers till 10. So until when I is less than 10, I want to keep printing it. So I is less than 10, this is the condition right here, this is the declaration of a variable, and then we have to give some function, like what to do with I. I'd say if you want to print I, that is you will use I to print 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7, 8 and 9, 10. So for this, you will use the value of I. So you want the value of I to be incremented each time. Each time the loop iterates I plus plus. Now this plus plus over here is an operator. It's an incrementation operator. It increments the value of I by 1 each time the loop iterates. So the basic logic of loop is, first you give it a number I which will take only on the first time when it runs. Okay. Then it checks the condition I is less than 10. if I give, I should give a value for I right here. Let's say I will declare in I outside and will give a value I equals 1. Right? I'm initializing the value of I over here. I equals 1. So I'm giving a value. And this is the condition it will check each time it's iterated. Iterated means each time it goes from here and runs back again. So I is less than 10. First the value of I is 1. So it will check I is less than 10. I is less than 10. Then I is 1. 1 is less than 10. It's true. Because 1 is less than 10. So it go and iterate again. And just before iterating, to also do this over here. What we gave here, I plus plus, for it to do something. So it increments the value of I by 1. So it makes the value I equals 2. Okay. I value is changed to 2. And then it goes back and checks again. Now this time it doesn't take the initialization. It takes this condition only. Directly it goes to condition. I is less than 2. Now I value is 2. So 2 is less than 10. That is true. 2 plus plus 3 and it iterates again. So until I becomes less than 10, I mean greater than 10, greater than or equal to 10, it keeps on iterating. So until I value is 10, it keeps on iterating. So if you have a statement like system.out.println, system.out.println brackets give I. So it will print I each time it's iterated because it takes in whatever code you give it and does that and iterates again. So the output will be first I value is 1, so it will iterate first time, it will print 1. Next I value will become 2 after incrementing. So I value will go on increasing until 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the value of 10, it will not actually print the value of 10 because 10 is not smaller than 10, 10 is equal to 10. So this will become false, it will not print and it will stop with 9. So it will print 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay? And it will stop after this condition becomes false. So that is the basic ideology or the basic logic for any looping statement. Okay? For example, if you wanted to print till 10, there is a relational operator called less than or equal to. You give it I less than or equals to 10. So it will accept the condition even if I is equals to 10 or less than 10. So now I is 10 and when it comes eventually to the value of 10, it checks 10 is equals to 10 or 10 is lesser than 10. One of it is true, that is 10 is equal to 10. So you print 10 and it is stop 10. Okay? So that is the basic logic of for loops and that is the basic use of it. There are more uses of it and there are more implementations of loops also. For example, you can have a loop inside of a loop and these nested loops are used to print patterns or do more complex logic. That logic is not required right now. When you come across it, then you. So nested loops are a bit complex to understand. So these are normal loops right here. This is the for loop. You can use it for many conditions or many situations. Like example, you have to input some objects to an array. You will use loops over there. You will take the object and then input it to the array. Like so, you can input actually a complete array. Arrays are other topics that you will know in the later classes. So that's just a basic example. Now let's get to the while loops. So this is the for loop. For loop, the basic syntax is for, then the parenthesis, which takes a maximum of 3 parameters, then open curly braces, close curly braces, and in between that whatever program you will write, it will run. and this is required for each program. You can initialize outside also, like you can have statements like nothing over here, just a semicolon, and over here instead of just a semicolon, I equals 1. So it will use this value. You can leave this space empty over here, or you can leave this value empty, this space empty, and give the I plus plus at the end of the program over here. That will also work. Okay, but you need the semicolons compulsorily for the for loops. Okay, now let's get to the while loops. While loops also have a pretty similar logic. The logic is similar, but the syntax is a bit different. For the while loop, there is a catch, that is, you cannot input more than one parameter, and in the parenthesis there should be only a condition. So while loop, while brackets, and the same way open curly braces, close curly braces, and the program you want to run. Okay, but this parenthesis, it accepts only the condition, that is I less than 10. This is the condition. It accepts only this condition inside of the while loop. Okay, so just now I showed you the for loop, how you can remove the initialization and the implementation out of the parenthesis and keep it outside. So that's what is done in while loop. Okay, the initialization of the value should be outside the loop. In I equals, let's say 1. This is the initialization. This should be outside the loop, and the implementation or decrementation, this should be inside the code block, inside this braces I plus plus. So it will accept only the condition, and until this condition is false, it will keep on iterating. Now you can use this loophole to hang your system, that is by keeping it an empty loop. Like example, you give int I equals, and say int I equals 1, I is less than 10, and instead of giving I plus plus over here, you give I minus minus. So what happens? I gets decremented each time, and it's always less than 10. It will keep on going and eventually hang your system, because it cannot find the end of I, and this value will always be false. So it will keep on iterating again and again. In some compilers, this will show an error because they won't allow it, as it can hang your system. Okay? This is called an empty loop or a delay loop. It delays your program. And this is basically the while loop with the same logic, just the syntax is a bit different, and you have the same set of code right here, and it will print the same way. It will check only the condition each time the loop is iterated. You can have or cannot have implementation or decrementation statement over here, but that will make it a delay loop or an empty loop, which will cause it to iterate continuously. Okay. So now the different thing over here is the do while loop. Okay. Do while is a bit different from for and while loops. Do while loop. So now do while loop, it consists of two blocks actually. It's a mixture of while loop and a do statement. Like the syntax is like this. It starts with a simple word do, and just open curly braces just like that and close. And here comes the while statement over here. That is to check the condition. If you have it open just like this, it will make it an empty loop. So this is a condition at the end of the block. Okay. Here there will be a while statement. and a semicolon because it's the statement. Okay, and it will take only the condition. Initialization of the integer is outside, whatever number it is, it's outside. Then the implementation is inside the do while loop, and here's the condition. So the difference between the do while loop and the while loop is that the do while loop will execute at least once, even if the logic is wrong. Like example, in the while loop, if you have a statement I is less than 10, but you initialize it to a value of 11. I is less than 10, check the condition first. So at checking of the condition, the starting condition only, it becomes false. So it will just exit the loop just like that. But do while loop is not like that. It will execute at least once, even if the condition is wrong, because it executes first and then checks the condition. It's like executes whatever you write over here. Like you write some statements over here, and it runs that statement and then executes it and then checks the condition over here. So that makes it able to run the statement at least once. Okay, that is basically the do while loop. So let me just show you some examples of the statements right now. So first we go with the for loop. So let's say you were asked to print 10 numbers, like from 1 to 10, using a for loop, or maybe the multiples of 2 using a for loop. So now firstly we need what is the similarity between multiples of 2, like 2, 4, 8, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, like continuous. Okay. So the difference between these multiples is always 2. Okay. So now we know that it makes it a lot easier. And we were asked to print the multiples of 2 up till 20. Okay. So that's easy right now. First, we need a for loop, of course. For declaring the for loop, we need a value to count how many iterations it's happening. So int I, and what is the first multiple of 2? 2 itself. So let's give it a value of 2. It starts from 2. Okay, and semicolon. As the initialization part is over. Now the condition part. Up till where did they ask us? Up till 20. So I is less than or equals to 20. Less than or equals to 20 because 20 also comes under multiple of 2. And next the counting. Instead of I plus plus, now there is another operator, that is plus equals. So this plus equals operator is like the short form of, for example, I say I plus equals 2. This is the short form of I equals I plus 2. Okay, this is the short form of that. So let's say in the implementation I plus equals 2. Because the multiples of 2 have a difference of 2, so I am incrementing each time by 2. And the braces. And now it's simple, we have to just print I. So print statement. System dot out dot print ln brackets, we are printing I. So I semicolon. So what does this program do? This is the program for printing the multiples of 2 up till 20. So how does it do that? So I'll explain the logic right here. Firstly, we have taken that I equals 2. So I value equals 2 in the first, and I less than or equal to 20. So the condition is true over here. I less than or equals to 20 is 2. I plus equals 2. Then if it's true, will increment of the value, will increment the value by 2. That is 4. That is after iterating. Firstly, before incrementing, it will print this system.out.println I. It prints 2, then again starts. It checks I is less than 20, true. After it's incremented, it becomes 4, because after printing 2, it increments it by 2 again and it becomes 4. So 4 is less than 20, true. So then it prints 4 and then goes back and starts again. Checks condition, 4 is incremented by 2 over here. 6 is less than 20, true. So true again. It prints 6, increments it by 2, that is 8, then starts again, checks. This is true. Prints 8, goes back until true again. Prints 10, goes back until you get 20. Okay? Until you get 20, it keeps on doing this cycle. This is a cycle of iterations. This cycle is known as iterations. So you will have 10 iterations, because we are printing the first 10 multiples of 2. So you will do 10 iterations. 5 iterations have already been done. Either 5 more will do. 5 more, true. We'll print 12. Go back, true again. We'll print 14. Go back, true again. We'll print 16. Go back, true again. We'll print 18. Go back. Now 20. It became 20. The value of 18 incremented by 2 over here. It becomes 20. Now 20 is less than or equals to 2. Less than or equals to 2, because equals to is true. Then true again. Prints 20. Now checks again. Now it becomes 22, right? So 22 is smaller than or equals to false. So it says false and exits. Exits the loop. Okay, it says false and then exits the loop. That is the logic for this program right here. And it will be mostly the same for all the other programs, except the syntax will be different and the implementation will be different. So the logic is similar as the previous loop, the for loop. Okay. So first it takes initialization that I equals to 2. Then it checks the condition I is less than or equals to 20. Okay. So that is true. Now prints I. Prints I means I value is 2 right now. So it prints 2 over here. Okay. Now after printing 2, I value is incremented by 2 right now. So this changes to 4. This is a printed statement. This is a changed value. Okay. So now it iterates again. So now it prints 4, because it checks 4 is less than or equals to 20. It's true. So it checks, then it increments the value to 6. Okay. Then it starts again. It takes 4 and then increments to 6. Then it prints 6 and then increments to 8. Then it prints 8. Then increments to 10. Then prints 10. Then increments to 12. Then prints 12 and then increments to 14. Like it keeps on printing whatever the incremented values. Like it incremented to a value over here. That same value will print over here and then increment. So it's like a cycle. So like from here to here, from here to here, from here to here, from here to here. Like it continuously keeps repeating itself. Okay. So now 12 to 14. Now 14 and changes to 16. Now print 16, changes to 18. Prints 18, changes to 20. Now after changing to 20, it checks the condition again. I is less than or equals to 20. So after checking, it is true, because equals to is also there. So it prints 20 also. it prints 20 and then increments to 22. Now after it increments to 22, it does not print because it checks the value first. After incrementing, it checks the value. So 22 is not less than or equals to 20. So this becomes false over there. And when it becomes false, it exits out of the loop. So the loop ends over here. Exit. It exits over here. So this is the basic logic. What happens after each iteration. You can take this as iteration 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So total are 10 iterations to print the 10 multiples of 2. Okay, I hope the logic is clear. So now let's go with the do while. So this is where things get a bit different. Okay, because do while loop syntax is different and its methodology of working is different. So same initialization outside the loop, and then here do, and then just start off the block of code. And here comes the while state. What is this while for? For checking the condition. So without the condition, it will just become an empty loop and go on iterating forever and ever. Okay, so that's why we need a while. In this we need the condition I is less than or equals to 20, same as before condition. Then semicolon. Semicolon here instead of curly braces because it's a statement over here and not the entire block of code. So now the do we have to increment also. So I plus equals to 2, right? And here system.out.println dot out dot print ln I, right? So the logic, this is the program. The logic is pretty much the same, except the first iteration it does not check, it directly print off. So like it just goes initialization 2, there is no checking true or false, it just directly prints out 2, then increments and continuously same process. But the difference in do while loop over here, because of that, is that it does not check the first iteration. First iteration there is no condition for it, it just executes whatever inside. Okay. Example, if you give I equals value as 21 or something, 21 I give it, it will still print out the first iteration as 21, it will give me the output as 21 even if the condition is false, because it does not check the condition in the starting iteration. Okay. So that's the difference between do while loop and the other loops. Okay. I hope the loops concept is pretty clear. So that's it for this video. I'm going to be making another series in which I'm going to explain practically in the computer all the examples, and I'll show you some working programs on that. Okay. Thank you.